A fragile calm, a promise of peace, and then suddenly the night sky, it lit up again. In a dramatic escalation, Hezbollah launched a massive wave of rocket attacks towards Israel, shaking the northern region and exposing just how weak the current ceasefire really is. Ladies and gentlemen, nearly 40 rockets they were fired in one coordinated barrage from Lebanon, targeting Israeli towns and border areas. Sirens blared, people rushed for shelters, and within seconds, air defense systems were activated, intercepting several of the incoming projectiles midair. But unfortunately, not all could be stopped. Well, some rockets landed in open areas, triggering panic and raising fresh fears among civilians that are living very close to the border. And wait, in the middle of all this chaos, one man was injured by shrapnel near the city of Tamra. Emergency responders from Megan, David Adam, they rushed to the scene, treating the injured and assessing the damage here. While the injury, it was reported as minor, the psychological impact of the whole attack, it was anything but small. You know what makes this particular moment even more dramatic is the timing here, because while rockets were flying in the Middle East, something very different was happening thousands of kilometers away. Now in Washington DC, Israeli and Lebanese officials, they were sitting across the table for rare high-level talks, discussions that were supposed to ease the tension and possibly move towards long-term peace. Now these talks, brokered by none other than Mr. Marco Rubio, they were being seen as a historic one, the first direct engagement of this kind in decades now. But the rockets changed the narrative instantly. Instead of progress, the world saw escalation. Instead of calm, there was confrontation. And suddenly the big question becomes unavoidable. Is the ceasefire already collapsing or not? Here, military experts say that such attacks, they are not just random acts, but carefully timed signals. Well, by launching rockets during ongoing diplomatic talks, a message is being sent here, one that challenges negotiations and tests the limit of the ceasefire here. Well, it also puts pressure on Israel's defense system and leadership, forcing quick responses in both military and political arenas. Now, if you see on the ground, fear is returning. Residents in northern Israel, who had briefly experienced calm, they are once again living under the shadow of uncertainty. Schools, businesses, daily lives, all are affected. Well, whenever sirens go off and shelters becomes the only safe space for them. At the very same time, this escalation risks pulling back the whole region into a larger conflict. Even a single round of retaliation could trigger a chain reaction here, undoing whatever progress has been made diplomatically. You know, the presence of international mediators and the ongoing talks shows that there is still a desire to avoid a full-scale war, which is a good thing, but incidents like these, that makes the path much harder. Now, as the dust settles after the last barrage, attention turns back to the negotiating table. Will talks continue? Will both the sides step back? Or is this the beginning of another dangerous phase in the conflict? For now, one thing is clear, ladies and gentlemen, peace in the region is still extremely fragile. And it takes just a few rockets to remind the entire world how quickly everything can change.